Hello, 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 dreamers. Perla here, as always. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So we are on Gemini. Gemini, this is your weekly message. And what came through right away was this energy of like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, you're you're tired of dealing with the same type of situation when it comes to someone. For a lot of you, this is going to be in a relationship. So this is a romantic relationship. You've been waiting for someone to like step up, or you've been wanting for someone to step up, and you're finally, I think, getting to that point where you're just like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep showing up the way that I do, and nothing is changing. You're not doing anything different. I feel that there's something here that has run its course, and you're finally ready to take that step away from this, because you are also recognizing that when you decide to stay in situations, whether they're romantic or platonic, that are not in alignment with where it is that you're headed, where it is that you're going, and until you don't detach from those connections, until you don't detach from those relationships, you're not going to move forward. So whether this is like financially, so you may have a financial goal for yourself, and spirit is telling you, okay, like these three people cannot go where it is that you're going. They're just not in alignment with where it is that you're headed. Like they're not, it doesn't match. And it doesn't mean that they are a bad people or anything like that. It's just they're not part of that season in your life. So while you still continue to stay stuck or continue to stay attached to people that spirit is telling you to let go of, you're going to stay in the same position. You're going to stay in the same place. And it's completely understandable, Gemini, that you tend to go back and forth, right? It is what people say is to Gemini nature, right? Like this, it doesn't have to be, my love. It doesn't have to be. When when you learn to master yourself, when you learn to master you, you get to use that double-sided energy, that twin energy, whatever it is that you want to call it, with Gemini to your advantage, not to your disadvantage. So I need you to take a step back and stop saying, well, I am just like this. Okay, but you can choose to do different. If you want different, if you want a different outcome, if you want something different, you're going to have to work towards what it is that you want. And that sometimes is realizing that you have nobody outside of you is stopping you in a sense of like blocking you or anything like that. You are doing it by refusing to walk away from certain situations. You are doing it by refusing to set the boundaries that need to be set. You are doing it by being afraid of what alone feels like. Those those spaces of isolation, those spaces where spirit allows you to be by yourself, with yourself, are meant to help you grow, are meant to make you stronger, are meant to help you master yourself, so that when you come back around and reconnect. I love the way these two little curls look like horns, so I think I look like an actual goat. I'm the Capricorn. Nah, let me stop. But some of you may be dealing with a Capricorn when it comes to romance. Who knows? Anyways, but there is this sense of like you have to just let go, babe. Like, I don't even know how else to say it, because again, you're wanting so much more for your life, financially and romantically, but then you're still attached to situations that are not allowing you to grow, that are not allowing you to expand, right? And the moments of isolation, regardless of how lonely they may feel at the moment, you start to master who you are, so that then when you are back around people, when you reintegrate into society, when you're mingling, when you're dating and all of these things, you're able to identify triggers as they are happening, or even before they happen, so that you don't have to fall back into these old patterns or into these repetitive, right? The isolation itself is not the final test. The isolation itself is not the true healing aspect of it. It is like a temporary break of like, okay, so like think about it, like before you try out for like a basketball team or a volleyball team or whatever it is, right? Before you play any sports in high school, you have to do a camp. Well, at least when I went to high school, you did, right? Whether that was a week, whether that was the summer, whether that was a weekend or whatever, you have to do the drills. You have to do the drills. You have to do the drills. You have to do the work, whatever, whatever, whatever. Then tryouts came, and only those that sharpened their skills, that were open and receptive to criticism, were receptive to learning, were receptive to change, usually made the team, because they were good. They were good at playing. Why? Because they were good at learning. They were good at making the changes that were needed. And that's kind of like what is happening when it comes to like this energy where spirit is telling you like, hey, we're all of this that you wanted is right here. It's ready for you to grab, but you have to let go of this. and some of you are just still a little hesitant about, because some of you are like, well, I've let go of this. If you are focusing on all of the things that you've lost, or all of the things that you've had to let go in order to grow and evolve, and you're not realizing all the things that you've gained, then you really have to go back in and do a little bit self-reflection, my love. Okay, alrighty, because there's still some attachment there to certain people or situation that you really need to part ways with. And sometimes the detachment, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're cutting somebody completely off. And this is where discernment really comes into play. With certain people, is more about setting certain stricter boundaries, because there are people in your life that are meant to test your boundaries. That are meant to test you in a sense of like, are you really going to follow through with the boundaries that you set for yourself, or are you going to cave into me? And sometimes we feel that we need to walk away from that person, and in reality, they're there to be a reminder that you need to stick to your own boundaries. Alrighty, so you have to have the discernment as to how it is, where it is at everyone's place in your life. Like, where does everybody belong in your life? There you go, dropping your ball. You can come get it. So there is, again, this sense of like emotionally feeling like you may be alone if you walk away from this, not wanting to go through an alone period again. But what you're going to find at the end of this, or on the other side of this, is the relationship that you want, is the financial freedom that you want. So if you knew exactly how something was going to turn out for you, would you not take the leap? What is stopping you right now is the unknown, or the fear of the unknown of how something is actually going to work for you. And you're needing to not just have faith, but you're needing to have trust and spirit that what you have been working towards, or what it is that you're going towards, is going to come to pass. Okay, alrighty. What is the closing message for Geminis? What is the closing message for Geminis? What is the closing message for Geminis? Stop resisting, my love. Stop resisting and stop trying to force something that is not there. Okay, alrighty. Okay, give me one card. The angel Rasbar. So again, there is a sense here. You see how she is, it looks like she's letting go of the flowers, right? But she's still looking at them. She still has flowers in her hands, right? She still has flowers here, but she's letting go of the other ones. And even though it is difficult, even though it is hard, they serve the purpose that they needed to serve. And there's nothing wrong with grieving something at the state that it is in. There's nothing wrong with grieving, even if something caused you pain, even if something was like, even if somebody was like the worst of the worst towards you, you can still grieve the relationship that you had with them, the illusions, the ideas, the wanting, all of those things that you had in connection to a person. You can still grieve them, and that doesn't mean that you're not growing. That actually means that you are ready to move forward. Okay, alrighty, babe. Well, that is all I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye.